Welcome, this is the setup video for Sitecore Cognitive Services Core. I'm going to walk you through downloading the source, configuring your local environment, syncing Unicorn, and then checking the content tree to make sure it was installed correctly. So the first thing we want to do is go to github.com/markstyles, go to repositories, select the Cognitive Core. In this case, I'm going to download the zip. You can clone it, whichever works better for you. Once it's done, I'm going to unzip it. And I'm going to open it up. And the first thing I want to do is run this setup.bat. There's a couple things it's going to do. One is it's going to create a local properties file, and that file is where I store all my system paths, API keys, and everything that I need in one place. It's then going to check out all my gulp dependencies. It's going to run Nant, which is going to use all my properties and build a bunch of configuration files, and just overall get the environment ready and working. So that's done. Now what I'm going to do is go into Visual Studio, open this from this solution file here. And what you're going to see here expanded so far is the configuration section. And this has access to a lot of the gulp files and properties files I was talking about, and then references to template files so that I can edit them if I need to. So I'm only really concerned right now with my local properties file. And I'm going to collapse the rest of these here, except for this one. This one is the one we're going to be publishing next. So local properties. And there's a few things you need to pay attention to. One is the version of Visual Studio you're on. There's a reference here to change that number. In this case, I'm running a local 825 instance. And the folder I just checked out to, which is this one, I'm going to paste that here for my project root. And I'm going to hit save. And then here is my web root for gulp to know about. Now, if you have any other properties, there is keys here for all your APIs. Here's the Microsoft APIs. There's IBM, Lexalytics and Nexosis, and BigML. Okay, so what I'm going to do now that that is set up is go to the SC SDK here under Foundation. And I'm going to publish this. And this is going to push all the binary files and configs and everything that I need. And Lexalytics. Just going to clean this project, rebuild it. It's going to push all the binaries from this into my local environment with configs and push Unicorn. And then I'm going to jump into Sitecore in Unicorn and sync it. So now I'm going to log in. And now that I'm logged in, I'm going to go to Unicorn. And I'm going to sync everything into my system. And once that's finished, I'm going to come back to the Sitecore, jump into the content editor, and just verify that the content structure is there. So I jump down into System, Modules, Sitecore Cognitive Services, and what you'll see is just a list of the API connectors that I have here. If you jump into the Microsoft, you'll see there's academic here. What you would do is paste your key in here, save it, and when you want to use the service, you would go and find the academic service and inject it into your controller or whatever you're working with. And I'll show you that namespace in a minute. But there's all the APIs here that you would need. Lewis is the one, or Ola that I'm using a lot. Face for image analysis, same with computer vision. So far, this indicates everything was set up correctly. And Cognitive Services Core, this is all you need. The idea is that you would manage your keys in content. That way, anytime you need to update one or switch services or in a different environment, you can just paste in the right key and you're good to go. And the rest of it is handled by you in the code using the services to do whatever it is you need. Right now, I'm going to jump back into the code and just show you a few things that you'll need to know if you are going to be developing on the system. So a lot of this here comes down to the connectors. Under the foundation, each of these has their own project. And each of them are really just their own individual .NET library, and they can be used independently. They don't have any references or dependencies on Sitecore. They are all tied together here in this Sitecore SDK. And what I've done is included them all in here under services. So this is the namespace that you're going to want to find here. Is the Foundation SCSDK services, in this case Microsoft language, and the iLewis service if you wanted to use to build your own chat system or language analysis. You would inject this and you would end up with an entity reference to this object here, this Lewis service. I also have a conversation service which you pass the result of a Lewis request to this, and it will help you handle managing a back and forth conversation. All these are configured here in the IOC configs. So all the repositories from the pure .NET libraries are wired up here. All the services here are set up, in this case Lewis service. So the SCSDK manages most of the work for you. And once that's up and running, it's a lot easier to just plug in a key, call the service, and then just start working. And that really is the goal of the Sitecore Cognitive Services, is to help you connect to machine learning APIs with little to no effort and just get moving and thinking more about what you want to build than how you need to build it.